What is up, guys? Welcome to Under the Surface. I am your host, Anneli, and this is a solo episode not filmed on the beach. I'm actually currently in Sydney. I've got a WNBL game tomorrow. We did just play in Canberra, and I've got a fun story for you guys. I didn't know that there was a Reebok store in Canberra. So I was walking around Civic, and then I was like, oh my God, I need to go in, and I got these shoes. Let's take a moment, actually. How cool. I'm very happy with these. I've gotten lots of compliments. I've worn them everywhere. So that's my little side story for today. That's not what the episode's about, though. Today, I kind of wanted to jump on to talk about a couple of things that have been on my mind, especially with the NBL's Pride Round this next week, and kind of why I think a Pride Round in the NBL is important, and just kind of chat about a couple of things. It might be longer than 5 minutes, but I just wanted to talk about some stuff, and especially because the last couple of weeks after my games, I've had younger people coming up to me telling me that that by me being open about my queerness and my sexuality, it has helped them be more open with themselves. And I realized that I've never really spoken about it that outwardly. I know that I am very open with my relationship and the fact that I am engaged to a woman and I'm in a same-sex partnership and that type of thing. But I realized that in sport, I have this platform and I usually share who I am unapologetically. And I realized I don't and haven't super spoken about my journey to fully accepting myself in that way. And I thought that what a great time to coincide that with Pride Round and talk about why that's important and why it's important to me, and maybe some tips that I have if this is something that you're struggling with and you want to talk about it with someone but you're not sure how to, or how as a friend you can support, as a family member you can support, that type of thing. So I will start with why I think that the Pride Round in the NBL is so important, and I will start with just visibility. Having visibility as a part of the LGBTIQA plus community in a male-dominated sport is huge, especially these are athletes performing at the top of their level, and they are getting around something like Pride Round, especially in a sport that's considered so masculine. It really does so much for the visibility of queer people everywhere, and it doesn't mean that all of these men playing in this round are, queer or a part of that community, but just showing that, they put on a shirt, put on a little rainbow logo and say that basketball is a place that is welcome for all people. And that is what it should be. I think that the most important thing about Pride Round, and especially in the NBL, is just really embracing that basketball as a sport is for everyone. And it's not this exclusive club where you have to fit in this box to be able to participate or to be able to go to a game. To go to an NBL game, you don't have to be a straight white man. To go to an NBL game, you can be whoever you want and it's a safe space. And to be a part of the basketball community means that you can be whoever you want and it's safe and you're accepted. And I think that that's why Pride Round is so important, because it really hones in on the fact that basketball is more than just a sport, but also it's a sport that doesn't discriminate based on who you are and how you identify. And I think that that's really important. And I'm really proud of basketball in Australia and the NBL for doing a Pride Round. That is so huge. And I know it means so much to me, but I think that when I was younger, I got to see the NBL doing a Pride Round while I was struggling with my own sexuality. The things it would have done for me and my ability to accept myself would have been huge. So that's why I think Pride Round is so important. That's my spiel. The other thing I wanted to say around basketball being a safe space for everyone, and I think that's the other thing around visibility, sport can feel like an exclusive club sometimes. and it can put people into boxes, and it can, not just basketball but all sports, it can make you feel like if you don't fit within these parameters, you won't be accepted within that sporting community. And I think the more that we can do as athletes with profiles, or maybe you're a leader within your club and association, or maybe you just play basketball with friends at a pickup, a stadium or something, making sure that you are using inclusive language and making sure that you don't discriminate on people based off how they identify, pronouns, or their sexuality and who they love, doesn't impact their ability to play a game of basketball. And I think that that is super important. And I think that as a collective community, we can always do better at making people feel accepted. So there's my further spiel on that. So the other thing I really wanted to talk about was like being a example, I guess, of how to really like accept yourself in that space. And I was really lucky when I came out to my family and my friends and stuff. It's really weird. I wouldn't even say that I like came out. I just decided to stop hiding, and I decided to stop hiding that part of me. And I think at the time I was dating a girl, and I told my dad, I was like, hey, like, I'm dating a girl. Like I might have been like 17 or 18. I was living in Adelaide at the time. And my dad was like, yeah, we know. It's okay. About time. I mean, we knew it was going to happen eventually. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, they knew before I did. So I was very lucky in that space. And I know that not everyone has that type of supportive environment when they are starting to accept those parts of themselves. But I will say the friends and the family members that said things to me like, yeah, we know and we love you anyway. Or, that's okay, that's so cool, tell me more. And those were the types of friends and family I still really cherish, and the ones that made me feel so comfortable in that space. And I think that that's really important. The other thing I wanted to kind of talk about was how hard it is to show up every day to something that you do, like work or school, or maybe it is a sporting club or community or something like that, and you know that you're not fully yourself, or the people around you don't know a part of you, or you're hiding a part of you. And there's something so hard about having to do that every day, day in and day out. And I'm so blessed that I only had to do it until I was like 17. But there are so many people who still struggle with it every single day of their lives. How do you create a safe environment? Like, how do you make yourself a safe person to talk to? How, as a club or a parent or a brother, sister, friend, do you create a safe space for people around you to be who they are? Because, you know, to be outside of the box and to not fit within the norm is really hard and really scary. So what can we do as friends, family, all that, to create a safe space, not just for people that are struggling with their identity, but people that are going through anything really. So this is something that I would kind of encourage. If you could go out of your way to do anything, it would be these things. It would be to, when you first meet someone, don't assume their pronouns. Ask what their pronouns are. And that's such a small thing. Like, you know, hey, my name's Anneli. I go by she, by the way. What's your name? Oh, just checking. What are your pronouns? Like, I don't want to misgender you. It's really simple. It's really simple. And I think on the same wavelength as that, when you are in a new environment, and say if I was to meet a teammate that has just come into the team, and I should not automatically assume that they have a husband or a male partner or a boyfriend. I can just ask, like, oh, do you have a partner? Are you seeing anyone? taking the gender out of it and doing something as simple as that is huge. And not just in like a sporting environment, in a business environment. If you meet a new coworker, ask them if they have a partner. Because as someone who has been through that, when you meet someone new, and say when I was seeing my girlfriend for the first time, and someone asked me like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? I automatically would freeze up and think, oh, I can't tell them because they assume that I have a boyfriend. So what if I let them down by telling them otherwise? You know, so by creating that environment and taking those things out of it, that can be an easy way to make the people around you know that you're a safe space and that they don't have to hide around you. Because you shouldn't have to hide around anyone. And if you can become the type of person that people don't have to hide who they are around you, then that immediately makes you an ally without much effort at all. You don't even have to wear a rainbow. You just have to ask someone how to pronounce their pronouns and if they have a partner. It's really, like, that's a really easy thing that you can do to support the people around you. I really hope that someday we don't have to come out. You don't have to come out of a box of what people expect you to be, because eventually there's no longer going to be a box. So you don't have to come out of anything. You just are going to be able to be. I think as society, we love to put people in labels that we can understand. And I think as people, we also like to define ourselves as certain things. But I really do hope, not just for my generation, for the future generations, for everyone else, as they grow and establish themselves into who they want to be, that you no longer have to come out as anything other than just who you are, and you don't have to come out of a box that was never put on you in the first place. And that is why, when I circle back, I think that a pride round in NBL is so important, because it helps get rid of that box. It helps get rid of that box that keeps people hidden. It helps get rid of those walls that people put up to hide from who they really are, or helps get rid of the distance between me and you and me and the person next to me. And when the collective is like a love of something, like love of basketball, you don't have to love basketball any less because you have a partner of the same sex, or you have different pronouns. It doesn't mean you love basketball any less than someone else does. And I think that's why pride rounds are so important, because they're so inclusive and they make people feel like they're seen and that they matter, when in areas of their life maybe they don't feel like they are seen or that they do matter. So that would be maybe the last thing I have on that. And I just want to end on to the young girls and boys and older men and women and all the amazing people that have come up to me and told me that by me being open about who I am and who I love, and the way that I don't hide parts about myself has helped them do the same. You guys make my heart so happy, and I have cried so many happy tears over those interactions, and please continue to do that. And I will always be your safe space. You know, always message me, always talk to me after the games. It's so important that you do, and I really cherish that connection, and knowing that me just being who I am is encouraging other people to open parts of themselves they've kept hidden, just makes me feel like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and that is really rewarding and really important. So this small little episode on the NBL's Pride Round has also gone into a little spiel about me and my life, but I just want to say that don't hide who you are, because who you are is enough. It always will be enough. And especially in the right environments, you will always be accepted as 100% authentically who you are, and who you love and who you decide to be doesn't make you any less of a person than the person sitting next to you. So Anyway, love you guys. That was my spiel. That was Under the Surface, Pumped by Reebok. I'm your host, Anneli Maley, and make sure you tune in to all of the Pride Round games in this next coming week. See ya.